Good evening once again. In our last video, we looked at the law of diminishing marginal returns. We said that as more and more units of a variable factor are added to a fixed factor, marginal product will finally diminish. Now, to understand this concept, let's look at the table on the screen. You see, we have 5-acre land, and then number of workers. So the size of the land is fixed throughout 5 acre, or 5 hectares throughout. But then we keep on increasing the number of workers. That means we are in the short run. The size of the land is fixed, but then we are increasing the number of workers. Now from the table, we assume that the first worker comes and he gives us 1 bag of maize. We employ the second person and total product rises to 3. Yeah. So 1 person gave us 1 and 2 have given us what? 3. Third person comes and total product rises to 6. Fourth person comes, total product rises to 8, and so on. Now from this information, we can calculate our average product. And as we saw in our last video, average product is given by total product divided by units of labor employed. That is total product per unit of labor. So here we divide column 3 by column 1. 1 by 1, 1. 3 divided by 2 will give us 1.5. And then 6 divided by 3 will give us 2. 8 divided by 4 will give us 2, and so on. So this one is telling us that if 3 workers were able to produce 6 bags, then it means that on the average, each of them produced 2. If 2 workers gave us 3, and it means that on the average, each of them produced 1.5. So again, let's remember that average product represents the general quantity that each worker produced. That means how many bags did each worker produce on the average, and that is our average product. Now let's go to the last column, which is the marginal. Remember, marginal simply means additional. So marginal, your marginal product at the workplace is what you as a person are adding to total product. So marginal is specific. Now let's see. 1 person comes, he produces 1 bag. Remember, for the first unit of output, marginal is the same as average and is the same as total. So if 1 person gave us 1, of course, average is 1, marginal is also 1. Now, 2 people have given us 3. We said on the average, each person produced 1.5. But then, before the second worker came, the first worker produced just 1. It means that technically, the second worker added what? 2. And that is his marginal product. Now, when the third worker came, total product rose to 6, meaning that the third worker actually added 3. But then, when the fourth worker came, total product rather rose to 8, meaning the fourth worker added only 2. Alright, now let's look at something. From the first worker up to the third worker, we realized that the marginal product was increasing. But as soon as the fourth worker was employed, the marginal product declined. Marginal product fell from 3 to 2, meaning that diminishing returns has occurred. So diminishing returns occurs as soon as the marginal product falls. As soon as marginal product declines, then we say diminishing returns has occurred. And as we continue to employ, we can see that the marginal product continues to decline. In fact, even when the 6th worker was employed, the marginal product was 0. Meaning that the 6th worker did not add what? Anything. Now technically what it means is that we have to withhold employment at the level where the seat worker is employed. Otherwise, when we continue to employ, we will end up experiencing negative marginal returns, which will be very, very, let me say, serious for the organization. All right. So illustrating this on a graph, we obtain these figures. So this is our total product. We can see total product initially it increases but at a decreasing rate. Total product increases, but what? Total product is increasing initially at an increasing rate, sorry. Then we get to the point of inflection, then it later increases but at a decreasing rate. And then it declines again. Then it declines. All right. Now, at the point where we are experiencing increasing marginal returns, you can see that both marginal products and then average products are rising when we are experiencing increasing marginal returns. But as soon as diminishing returns occurs, then both the marginal product and average product curves also do what? Decline. So this means that there are three main stages of production. The first stage is where the factors combine very well. The factors combine very well. So you can see that we are experiencing increasing marginal returns. And at a point, the second stage is where we experience decreasing marginal returns, where marginal product is falling but positive, and then negative marginal returns. That is where marginal product is falling but what? But negative. What do I mean by saying that at the initial stages of production, the factors combine very well? It's like, let's say, when we have one worker having one computer, and each person is having his or her desk. Something like this, productivity will be higher than when, let's say, we have more people, but then people come to work and they cannot even get seats and they cannot get machines. So the fact that the workers are many does not mean that productivity will be high. In a situation where, let's say, we have one worker using one computer, other things being equal, productivity will be higher than when we have two workers using one what? Computer. And that's the point we are talking about. So, in short, these are the stages of production from the table. From the first worker up to the third worker, rather that the marginal product was increasing. And that is increasing marginal returns. Then, rather that when the fourth worker was employed, the marginal product began to do what? Decrease. But then, although it was decreasing, it was positive. And that is called diminishing marginal returns. Then when the seventh worker was employed, the seventh worker's contribution was negative. And that means they experienced negative marginal returns. Now, we want to end this session by looking at the relationship between marginal product and average product. What we have to know is that both marginal products, MP and then AP, both MP and then AP, you see, they all rise, attain maximum and then decline. So both average product and marginal product, they all what? Rise. They attain maximum and decline. But then when they are rising, as you can see, when they are rising, the marginal lies above the AP. Marginal product will be above the average product. And then when they are falling, the marginal product will be beneath the average product. This means that the marginal product rises and falls faster than the average product. Marginal product rises and falls faster than the average product. The question is, why does the marginal product rise and fall faster than average product? You see, for average product to increase, marginal must increase first. You see, average is a general figure, but then marginal is what we are adding. So, for a team's performance to increase, the new person we are introducing must have the greater strength than the person we are taking out. So when you are adding, marginal is additional. So what it means that for the average performance to increase, each person's contribution should be greater. But then, when I relax, and you relax, and everybody begins to do relax, the average performance will what? Will come down. So for average performance to increase, then each of us must try to give off our best. Must, let me say, try to raise the standard, up the game. And when we do that, the average performance will do what? Will increase. And the economic implication is that managers should not take it for granted when one person is misbehaving. Because if one person relaxes and people begin to imitate him or her, then the average performance will definitely come down. Thank you very much for your attention. In our next video, we will discuss cost concepts. Thank you.